Off the coast of what is now North Carolina lies Roanoke Island. This sliver of land holds a mystery that has captivated historians and amateur sleuths for centuries. It is the story of the Lost Colony of Roanoke, the first attempt by the English to establish a permanent settlement in the New World. The year was 1587, when a group of 115 men, women and children landed on these shores. Little did they know, they were stepping onto a stage where a historical drama of epic proportions would unfold. The colonists arrived in the New World full of optimism, eager to carve out a life in this new land. They built houses, planted crops, and began the arduous task of creating a community. But the challenges of this untamed wilderness were immense. The native Algonquin tribes, while initially welcoming, viewed the newcomers with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. At the helm of this ambitious endeavor was Governor John White, a seasoned explorer entrusted with the colony's well-being. Thus, when supplies dwindled to a critical low, White embarked on a perilous journey back across the Atlantic in late 1587. He left behind his daughter Eleanor Dare and his granddaughter Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World. The English settlers who arrived at Roanoke Island in 1587 were not the first Europeans to set foot on this land. Sir Walter Raleigh, a prominent English explorer and courtier, had financed earlier expeditions to Roanoke in the 1580s. These initial attempts at colonization were short-lived and ultimately unsuccessful. Driven by the promise of wealth, adventure and the opportunity to establish a strategic outpost in the New World, Queen Elizabeth I granted Raleigh a charter to establish a colony in North America. The colonists who joined the 1587 expedition represented a cross-section of English society. They brought with them their families, their skills, and their dreams of a better life. John White had anticipated a relatively short voyage back to England. However, fate had other plans. The Anglo-Spanish War erupted with a vengeance. Spain, threatened by England's growing naval power and colonial ambitions, launched the Spanish Armada. Caught in this maelstrom of war, White found himself stranded in England. Every fibre of his being yearned to return to Roanoke, to his family, to the colonists who relied on him. Yet the war effort demanded every available ship, every able-bodied man. Finally, after 3 long years, the war subsided. For White, it was a victory tinged with trepidation. He had secured passage on a ship bound for the New World, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and dread. In August of 1590, John White finally set foot on Roanoke Island. The settlement that had bustled with life 3 years earlier was now eerily deserted. Houses stood empty, their wooden frames weathered by time and neglect. The gardens, once bursting with crops, were overgrown with weeds. An unsettling silence hung in the air, broken only by the sound of the wind rustling through the trees. The colonists had vanished, leaving behind no trace of their whereabouts or their fate. White searched frantically for any sign of life, any clue that might explain the colonists' disappearance. His desperation grew with each passing hour as the grim reality sank in. The only clue to their fate was a single word carved into a post-CROATOAN. There were no signs of a struggle, no indication of violence or forced removal. Theories abound as to what befell the lost colony. Some historians believe that the colonists, facing dwindling supplies and the threat of hostile natives, may have attempted to sail back to England only to perish at sea. The mystery of Roanoke stands as one of the most enduring enigmas in American history. Over the centuries, historians, archaeologists and treasure hunters have scoured Roanoke Island and the surrounding areas, hoping to unearth artifacts that might shed light on the colonists' fate. While some artifacts have been found, offering tantalizing glimpses into their lives, the definitive answer to their disappearance remains elusive. In recent decades, advances in DNA technology have offered new avenues of investigation. Researchers have been analyzing DNA samples from descendants of both the Roanoke colonists and Native American tribes who inhabited the region. The goal is to identify any genetic links that might prove intermarriage or other forms of interaction between the groups. The failure of the Roanoke colony had a profound impact on future colonization efforts. The story of Roanoke, though shrouded in mystery, serves as a reminder of the challenges and complexities of colonization and the enduring power of the unknown.